My next guest knows this story very well. He covered it in depth when the whole Clinton scandal broke. Britt Hume is our Fox News senior political analyst, and he joins me now. Britt, all right, so to those who say this is ancient history about Bill Clinton, there's no there, move along, what say you?
Well, back at the time when all of these allegations against President Clinton were surfacing, the woman Juanita Broaddrick, who appears in this Trump ad, accused the president of raping her in a hotel room in Little Rock. Her charges were specific. She was who she said she was. There's no doubt about that. And a lot of us found the allegations credible, at least credible to the point where they bore serious investigation. And I always believed that, based on the rest of his conduct, that the allegations were likely true. NBC News' Lisa Myers did an interview with Juanita Broaddrick in which she explained the whole thing. It was pretty powerful stuff. NBC sat on it for a long time, to the point where one night, back when I was the anchor of Special Report, we went on the air that night on the panel, and we were all wearing buttons that said, as you can see, "Free Lisa Myers."
You found your button.
I did. I found it in.
This was when he was running. When he was running, so NBC buried the report because he was the Democrat running for president.
Well, I can't identify their motives because I can't read minds, but they sat on that report for. It finally did air, but it was never seriously followed up by the rest of the media. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that what Donald Trump is saying does not represent a complete flip-flop on his part in terms of what he was saying about the scandals at the time. I think it does. What it strikes me about it, though, is that my view is if he calls attention to that case and it gets explored, that would not be an unwelcome thing. Now, as to the rest of it, what things he's saying, I'm not going to account for those. He certainly once had a very friendly relationship, as that photograph is established, with the Clintons. If he thought the guy was a rapist at the time, it was an odd thing to invite him to his wedding. Having said all that, this all strikes me, Megan, as an attempt on his part, as Carl even suggested, to throw up some anti-aircraft fire against the bombardment, which I think he's expecting and is already to some extent underway from Hillary Clinton, about his past statements and actions toward women.
You know, Britt, obviously Trump has taken a lot of incoming with respect to his treatment of women as well, including his own ex-wife, Ivana Trump, accusing him of raping her in sworn deposition testimony, which she has since recanted. And it was 30 years ago, and it was in the course of a divorce proceeding. And people say a lot of things during divorce proceedings, even under oath, that are not true. However, my point is, there is mud to be slung on both sides. You tell me whether the American voter, when they listen to it, he raped her, well, he raped her, whether women and others in this country are going to say, gross. Where's Gary Johnson? I mean, like, what are the people supposed to do with this?
Well, I must say to you, Megan, that this goes to character, and character is always a valid issue. And certainly one's attitude toward and treatment of women is a valid issue, especially for the President of the United States. I mean, people may look at this and be turned off by it and wish the campaign were about something perhaps more edifying, but, it's not unfair to ask the public this question. Look what happened, and look how women were treated the last time the Clintons were in the White House. You want a rerun of that? I mean, that's not an unfair question. And, of course, people, by the same token, the response can be, well, do you want this guy with his long record of sexual conquest and bragging about them? You want him in the Oval Office. So it's not an illegitimate issue. It may not be an attractive issue, but there it is.
What are you doing for the next 8 years? Free Britt Hume.
Maybe I'm too old to get in that kind of trouble.
Great to see you, Britt.
Thanks, Megan.